I knew something was wrong because my boss laughed the same way he did at work. That loud, fake confident laugh that always made me think he was trying too hard to impress people. I was standing outside a restaurant downtown with the takeout bag in my hand when I heard it through the open patio doors. I turned without thinking. And there she was. My wife. Smiling at him across a candlelit table like they were the only two people alive. For a second, my brain genuinely refused to process it. I actually thought maybe it was some work dinner. Maybe other people were coming. Maybe I was misunderstanding something obvious. Then she reached across the table and touched his wrist. Not casually. Not friendly. Intimately. I stood there like an idiot while cars passed behind me and people walked around me. My food got cold in my hand. My chest felt hollow. 3 hours earlier she had kissed me goodbye in our kitchen and said, "Emily's having a rough week. I'm gonna go see her." I even told her to stay out as long as she needed. That's the part that still humiliates me the most. I helped her lie to me. Before all this, I honestly believed we were solid. Not perfect. We argued about money sometimes. I worked too much. She complained I was emotionally unavailable. But after 13 years together, I thought that was normal married people stuff. We had a house. 2 kids. Shared grocery lists and inside jokes and Sunday routines. The kind of life that looks boring until you realize boring is actually safety. Her name is Claire. We met when we were both broke and renting tiny apartments across the hall from each other. He looked at her the way I used to look at her. That almost broke me more than anything. I kept waiting for some innocent explanation to appear. Other coworkers. Friends. Anything. Nobody came. Eventually they stood up and walked outside together. And then he kissed her. Quick. Comfortable. Familiar. Not a first kiss. A practiced one. I remember gripping the steering wheel so hard my fingers cramped. My ears were ringing. She looked happy. That detail still wakes me up sometimes. Not guilty. Not conflicted. Happy. I drove home before they saw me. I sat in the dark living room for 2 hours rehearsing conversations in my head. Every version sounded insane. Every version sounded fake. When she finally came home around midnight, she walked in carrying a bottle of wine. "Emily says thanks for letting me stay late," she said casually. And something inside me finally snapped out. I asked her one question. "Did you have fun with Daniel?" The color drained from her face so fast it scared me. Not because she looked guilty. Because she looked caught. There's a difference. She set the wine bottle down carefully and said, "What?" I repeated it. This time slower. "Did you have fun with Daniel?" For a few seconds she tried to recover. I could literally see her brain working through possible lies. Then came the classic move. "How do you know Daniel?" As if that mattered more than why she was with him. I told her I saw them. I described the restaurant. The patio. The kiss. And then she sat down like her legs stopped functioning. I expected denial. Crying. Panic. Instead she got quiet. Terrifyingly quiet. Finally she whispered, "I didn't want you to find out like this." Like this. Not. "It's not true." Not. "You misunderstood." Just regret about the timing. I started shaking so hard I had to sit down too. Then she said the sentence that changed my life permanently. "It's been going on for almost a year." A year. 365 days of lies while sleeping beside me every night. I honestly don't remember parts of that conversation clearly. My brain keeps replaying fragments instead of full memories. Me asking, "Why him?" Her crying. The sound of my own breathing getting too fast. At one point I knocked a chair over accidentally and our daughter woke up upstairs asking if everything was okay. Claire ran to the stairs and told her we dropped something in the kitchen. Then she came back down and continued destroying our marriage. That contrast messed me up badly. 1 minute normal parenting. Next minute emotional nuclear warfare. She admitted it started during one of my work conferences out of town. Daniel stayed late helping her fix something in our house. They drank wine. Talked. Complained about their marriages. Then apparently they crossed a line. I hate that phrase now. Crossed a line. People say it like cheating is a slippery accident instead of 1,000 deliberate choices. I asked if she loved him. She didn't answer immediately. That silence hurt more than words. Finally she whispered, "I don't know." I remember laughing when she said that. Not because anything was funny. Because my mind genuinely couldn't absorb that level of betrayal without malfunctioning somehow. The next morning I still had to go to work. That felt almost psychotic. I barely slept. Claire cried most of the night while I sat in the guest room staring at the wall like a corpse. At 6 a.m. she knocked softly and asked, "Are you really going in today?" What she actually meant was, "Are you going to see him?" And yes, I was. The drive there felt unreal. Like I was acting in somebody else's miserable movie. Daniel greeted me completely normally. "Morning, man." Man. I looked at him and suddenly every memory felt poisoned. Every handshake. Every dinner at our house. Every joke he told my kids. I asked if we could talk privately. The second the office door closed, his face changed. He knew. I asked him one question. "How long have you been sleeping with my wife?" No hesitation. No shame. "Claire told you?" That answer almost made me black out. Not because he admitted it. Because he sounded annoyed. Like this was an inconvenience for him. I shoved him hard enough that he hit the filing cabinet behind him. He started yelling that I needed to calm down before somebody saw us. That sentence still makes me sick. Not, "I'm sorry." Not, "I never meant to hurt you." Just panic about appearances. I quit that same day. Walked out without another word. 8 years gone in 15 minutes. The worst part wasn't even the affair itself. It was learning how many people quietly knew. Not the full truth, maybe. But enough. One of Claire's friends admitted she suspected something months earlier. Another confessed she saw them together once outside town and convinced herself it was innocent. Even my younger brother eventually told me Daniel's behavior around Claire always seemed a little too familiar. Everybody had fragments except me. I was the only idiot fully living inside the lie. And then came the detail that destroyed whatever dignity I had left. My son asked me why. "Mom likes Daniel better now." He was 9. 9. Apparently Daniel had been around enough lately that my kids noticed changes before I did. Claire swore nothing inappropriate happened in front of them. Maybe that's true physically. Emotionally? Different story. Children notice emotional gravity. They know when attention shifts. Our daughter became anxious overnight. Started asking whether we were getting divorced before we even discussed separation openly. Meanwhile, Claire kept alternating between sobbing apologies and defensive speeches about being unhappy for years. That confused me more than anything. If she hated our marriage that much, why keep pretending? Why birthdays? Why vacations? Why kiss me goodbye every morning? I started questioning every memory I owned. About 2 weeks after I found out, Claire admitted something even worse. The affair hadn't actually ended. Not even after discovery. She promised me she cut contact with Daniel immediately. Swore on our children. Then one night I checked our phone records. Hundreds of calls. Mostly late at night after I fell asleep downstairs. I confronted her immediately. At first she denied everything again. Said maybe the phone company mixed numbers up somehow. That's when I realized lying had become automatic for her. Like breathing. Eventually she broke down and admitted they were still talking because closure is complicated. Closure. I remember screaming so loudly my throat hurt for days. I asked her if she understood what she was doing to me mentally. I couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. I lost almost 20 pounds in a month. Meanwhile, she was secretly comforting the man who helped destroy me. That night she confessed Daniel wanted her to leave me officially. Apparently he'd been pressuring her for months. But there was another complication. Daniel was married too. His wife had no idea. Suddenly I understood why Claire looked terrified all the time lately. Not guilty. Cornered. Two collapsing marriages balancing on top of each other like dynamite. And I was standing right in the middle of the explosion. Telling Daniel's wife was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Her name was Rebecca. I'd known her for years. Our families had dinner together. She once helped organize my daughter's birthday party. I called her from my car because I physically couldn't handle saying those words face to face. At first she thought somebody died. That's how shattered my voice sounded. When I finally told her, there was this long silence. Not dramatic crying. Just silence. Then she quietly said, "I knew something was wrong." That sentence haunted me. Apparently Daniel became distant almost a year earlier. Working late constantly. Guarding his phone. Picking fights over nothing. Same patterns. Same lies. Different house. Rebecca thanked me for telling her. Actually thanked me. Then she hung up. Later I learned she confronted him immediately. He denied everything until she mentioned my name. Then he apparently blamed Claire for pursuing him. Coward. Absolute coward. Claire denied that version completely, of course. By that point I didn't know who to believe anymore. Truth became slippery. Everybody edited reality to survive guilt. Friends started taking sides. Some avoided us completely because cheating scandals make people uncomfortable. Like betrayal might somehow spread socially if they stand too close to it. Our entire life cracked open publicly. I hated leaving the house. People always ask why I didn't leave immediately. I ask myself that too sometimes. The truth is ugly, because I still loved her. Even after everything. Maybe especially after everything. Trauma bonds are real. When somebody destroys you emotionally, your brain still desperately wants comfort from the same person causing the pain. It's humiliating. There were nights Claire crawled into bed crying, saying she wanted to fix us, and I held her while secretly imagining her with him. That kind of mental conflict changes you permanently. I became paranoid. Obsessive. I checked phone records. Emails. Credit card statements. I hated the person I turned into. One afternoon she fell asleep on the couch while holding her phone and I spent 20 minutes trying to unlock it with birthdays and passwords like some deranged criminal. That wasn't me before. I used to trust easily. Now I question everything automatically. Claire started therapy. We tried marriage counseling too. Our therapist asked if I believed reconciliation was possible. I answered honestly. I don't know who my wife actually is anymore. Claire cried immediately when I said that. But it was true. The woman I trusted blindly and the woman capable of betraying me for a year could not psychologically exist together in my head. One of them had to be fake. Maybe both were. The kids suffered the most. That's the guilt I still carry. We tried protecting them, but children absorb tension like smoke. My daughter started getting stomachaches before school. My son became unusually angry. Small things set him off constantly. One night he asked me directly, "Did Mom do something bad?" I froze. There's no parenting book for moments like that. You want to protect their innocence while also not lying to them the way you were lied to. I just told him adults sometimes hurt each other, and we were trying to figure things out. He nodded like he understood. But kids always understand more than adults think. Claire moved into the guest room officially after another massive fight. The house became emotionally divided territory. Shared kitchen. Shared children. Shared silence. Sometimes we accidentally acted normal together for brief moments. Laughing at something stupid on TV. Discussing groceries. Then reality slammed back down again. I started drinking more than I should have. Nothing dramatic. Just enough whiskey at night to quiet my thoughts temporarily. The problem is alcohol removes filters. Some nights I'd stare at Claire across the room and suddenly ask graphic questions I knew would destroy me. Did you love him more physically? Were you happier with him? I kept digging for pain like an addict. And somehow there was always more. The final collapse happened 6 months later. Ironically, not because of another affair discovery. Because of honesty. Real honesty. Claire admitted she still loved him. She said she loved me too, but differently now. I remember sitting at the kitchen table feeling strangely calm while she cried. By then I think I was emotionally exhausted beyond anger. She told me she missed who she became around Daniel. More spontaneous. More alive. Less trapped by responsibility and routine. That part hurt because I understood it. Marriage changes people slowly. Parenthood changes people faster. Somewhere along the way we stopped seeing each other as individuals and became co-workers managing survival. But understanding something doesn't erase betrayal. I asked her why she didn't just leave before cheating. She gave the most honest answer I'd heard in months. Because I wanted both lives. There it was. The real truth underneath all the therapy language and excuses. She wanted stability and excitement simultaneously. Home and escape. Me and him. And eventually reality demanded a choice. A month later she moved into an apartment across town. When she packed her things, neither of us cried. That almost felt sadder than screaming. Just two exhausted strangers watching a marriage bleed out quietly. Divorce changed me in ways I still don't fully understand. Not just emotionally. Socially too. Couples we knew stopped inviting me places because I made things awkward apparently. Some secretly stayed friends with Claire and pretended neutrality. Daniel got fired eventually after Rebecca exposed the affair publicly to company leadership. For one petty second that felt satisfying. Then it didn't. Nothing actually repairs betrayal. Punishment doesn't rebuild trust or restore innocence. It just creates more wreckage. Claire and I became functional co-parents eventually. Civil, polite. Almost businesslike. Sometimes I catch glimpses of the woman I married during school events or birthdays. A certain laugh. A facial expression. And for a split second I miss her so intensely it physically hurts. Then I remember everything. The restaurant. The lies. The late-night calls. The way she looked at him. I dated a little after the divorce, but honestly I was emotionally radioactive for a long time. Trust became complicated. If someone texts near me, I notice. If plans change suddenly, I notice. I hate that hypervigilance became permanent. Therapy helped somewhat. Time helped more. But betrayal rewires your nervous system. People rarely talk about that part honestly. You stop feeling emotionally safe anywhere for a while. Even inside yourself. It's been 4 years now. Claire still lives across town. Daniel disappeared completely after his divorce. Last I heard he moved to another state. Funny how people can detonate your life and then simply vanish. Sometimes I wonder whether their relationship survived after all this. Part of me hopes it didn't. Part of me doesn't care anymore. The strangest thing is that I no longer think about the sex itself much. In the beginning that tortured me constantly. Now what hurts most is smaller. Ordinary lies. Traffic was bad. I'm with Emily. Don't wait up. Tiny sentences covering enormous betrayal. That's what stays with you. I've rebuilt pieces of my life slowly. New apartment. Better job. Healthier routines. My kids are doing better too, thankfully. But I'm not the same person who stood outside that restaurant holding cold takeout in his hands. That man believed loyalty guaranteed safety. He believed love automatically meant honesty. I don't believe that anymore. I still believe people can love each other genuinely. I just also believe people are capable of destroying the things they love while looking directly into their eyes. And honestly, that realization changed me more than the divorce itself ever did.